Hey guys. Hello, 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 hello to the most beautiful people in the whole wide world. Where's my damn pen at? There it is. So, come on in everybody. Welcome to my live stream. My name is Nicole Pludre, and I'm a person in long-term recovery. My sobriety date is July 13th of 2015. I am on a MAT program. I've been on Suboxone for about 7 years, and it saved my life. And I love to share my recovery with other people to let them know that they're not alone and that there's no shame in being on MAT and needing that extra help. So tonight I had a special person reach out to me and ask me to talk about sex after meth addiction. And honey, I love to talk about sex. So I was like, okay, honey, let's do it. So that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about intimacy with our significant others or whoever after we get sober. So I'll wait until you guys get in. If y'all don't mind, please share the video. Share the video, like the video, and invite your friends. Share the video, like the video, invite your friends. Share the video, like the video, invite your friends. Hey Jennifer, hey Allie. I am having a great day, baby. I'm having a great day. I also just opened, I just uploaded a video on my YouTube channel, and I would love it if you guys would go support that video. It's like an introduction to my channel because I gained like 5,000 subscribers in less than a month, and so I'm trying to revamp my YouTube channel and get people to, I want people to be involved and be excited about the content that I drop. So I made a video just asking you guys who are subscribed to let me know. First of all, I shared about who I was and why I started my YouTube channel in the first place, which was to find people that were on MAT. Because when I started sharing about it in 2016 here on Facebook, people made fun of me. People made fun of me and told me I wasn't in recovery and told me that I shouldn't be sharing my story and that I would never be able to help people with their recovery because I was on Suboxone. So I left Facebook and I created my YouTube channel, and the rest is history, honey. I've been advocating for those of us that are on MAT ever since. And honestly, I like to think of myself as the trailblazer woman who speaks out about being on MAT. That's like an advocate, like an influencer, right? Because I don't know, back whenever I first started, there wasn't any girls on MAT talking about it, So I'm a trailblazer, baby. But I don't even know who it was that asked me to talk about this. Somebody messaged me and they were like, I know how it was for me. So when I was in active addiction, right, especially on meth, like methamphetamine made my sex drive times 1 million. Okay, 1 million trillion thousand. And also it made it to where I wasn't embarrassed to do anything. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't self-conscious. Like I could do back bends and splits and all kinds of crazy positions because I didn't feel insecure. Once I got sober, that all faded away. And so I want to talk about that. Also, I mean, this could go in regards to anything. It doesn't have to just be meth addiction, you guys. This can just be, having sober sex with your significant other. It's a lot different than having high sex. I mean, I think it is. What do y'all think? Thanks, Jennifer. Me and my husband have been together for 10 years. And when I first met my husband was 2012. Yeah. Hey, Carrie. And it was just like, I felt nothing holding me back. Come here, Paco. Come here, baby. Paki Naki. Oh, he's being a poop. I had nothing holding me back, And so I want to talk about that. Like, how do you get to a good place in your recovery? Sorry, y'all, I'm sweating. Where you don't feel like that anymore? How do you get to a place in your recovery and in your relationship with your significant other where you feel comfortable and you don't feel embarrassed anymore? So I'll tell you what helped me, okay? So we can all see that I'm not skinny, okay? I'm a chunky thing. Hey Shelby, I've struggled with my weight since I was a kid, but more so now that I'm an adult and I'm 40. When I hit the 30-year mark, that's when I started to realize that my weight was going to be a problem, because it was like I hit 30 years old and my metabolism just went, and it was like I had no metabolism. And so that's always been something that I have been openly insecure about, and I talk to my husband about it, a lot. So when I was in active addiction, I was very, very thin, very thin. That's how it goes with every drug, it seems. Soon as you quit, you just don't feel alive anymore. It's like you have to relearn how to live your whole life. Absolutely, absolutely. And I believe it's because when we're using substances, our brain is producing so much dopamine. Then when we get sober, our brain is not producing the same amount of dopamine as it was when we were using substances. And our brain has to relearn how to do that, right? And so we went from like feeling amazing to feeling like shit. And people will always ask me, they're like, Nicole, how long does it take for you to start feeling energy again? And I'm like, I'm 7 years sober and I still ain't got no energy. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to tell people that because I don't want to discourage anybody. But if I could share one thing with you guys, what it would be is to not make the same mistake I made. Who I see having energy is people who are working out and going to the gym. This is what I've noticed. Every person that tells me, oh, I have energy, I feel great. They're people who they make it a point to go to the gym every single day, or at least 5 times a week. Okay. So they do their little gym regimen and then they're done for the day. I should have been doing that. Good job, Felicia. I should have been going to the gym. The first time I got sober, I should have started going to the gym and working out, or at least walking or doing some kind of jogging, because those are the people who always seem to tell me how much energy they have. But it's hard to go to the gym because when you don't have energy, because here's the thing, you don't have energy, you don't feel good, you don't have the motivation, and sometimes I don't think people understand what it's like to struggle to get out of bed every day, and unless you understand what it's like to struggle to get out of bed, then you won't understand anything of what I'm saying. You have to really be able to empathize with the experience and the feeling of just being trapped, in your body and not being able to feel joy or pleasure, And I hate it when people will say to me, well, you just got to push yourself, honey. You just got to push yourself. It's like, if I, listen to me, okay? If it was just about pushing myself, I could do that, okay? I'm not a lazy ass bitch. I work my motherfucking ass off, okay? I work my ass off. It's not the same. I don't think people can understand, Now, I will tell you this. Since I became more aware of the food I eat and the exercise that I give myself, that has helped me so much. And that is how I am gaining back energy, is by like being aware of the food I eat. When you first get sober, you're used to eating junk food or just eating like whenever. And that's what had happened to me, is I had gotten to this point where I was just eating whenever, And so I couldn't do that sober because I wasn't pumping my body full of stimulants anymore. And so when you're fucking shooting meth, like it like balanced me out, or I just wouldn't eat at all. So now I'm learning how to have a healthy diet, not wanting to get up and get out. I'm telling you, like, that's been the hardest thing and the most challenging thing for me, is just not having the motivation, mental motivation. Okay. Mental motivation. Like, my body doesn't hurt or anything like that. It's just like my mentally. And honestly, I can tell you this, what I have been doing is I pray before I go to bed, and then in the morning when I wake up, I pray and I ask my higher power to help give me strength for that day, right? And I look at my son. And my son, I want to be able to function and do things with my little boy. My little boy, even though I don't feel like it mentally or physically, I push myself because of my son. And that's what's been making me get out of bed, honestly. Because if I didn't have him, I don't know if I would be able to. You know, it has been so hard. Like, I want you to understand that. It has been so hard. It has been so hard for me to change my thinking around, like, going outside and taking a walk. Before, I used to think of it as like, this is torture, right? Like, oh my God, I can't handle this. But now I think of it as, this is going to help me to where I can be a better mom. Because that's what I want to be. I want to be a better mom. And I want to be able to run around with my son and play basketball with him and go to the park. And I don't want him to be embarrassed of me because I'm huffing and puffing and have all the sweat coming down on my face. I don't want him to be embarrassed of me, you know? And so that's what helps me to push myself, because that's the only thing I know what to do, you know? That's the only thing I know to do, is to make myself do it, you know? And that's what I had to do. I had to find something that motivated me to want to do better. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I know this is so sad to say this, but it's the truth. Myself alone, I don't motivate myself for me. And I guess it's because I still struggle a lot with, like, loving myself, you know, like truly, truly loving the person that I am. And I think a lot of you guys will be able to relate to this. Like, when a person loves themselves and they take pride in the person that they are, in their body, they do things to make sure that their body's taken care of, right? But when a person doesn't love themselves, that's us, that's me, right? I don't have that, like, you know, that thing that's like pushing me to be better. So I have to literally create it, you know, create it. And so that's what my little boy has done for me. He has saved my life. Gabrielle, I understand, girl. I sweat no matter what. Now, if you're on MAT and you're sweating, there's a medication you can ask your doctor to, or I think it might be a vitamin you can get across the counter. I don't know. It's spelled Vitadone, Vitadone, Vitadone. And I hope I don't mean to get so emotional with you guys, but it's just, when you've practiced, it's just like addiction, okay? Think about how hard it was for us to get sober and stay sober. Many of us struggled for years, right? And so I want you to think about it. You're breaking a habit that you have practiced for so many years with overeating, not getting out and getting exercise. And so it's difficult to change that old behavior that we have practiced for so many years, you know? It's like going against everything my body wants it to do, you know? I don't know about that part, Nicole. It does help it with the sweat. So let me talk to y'all about sex, okay? Okay, so first and foremost, when I was in my active addiction, me and my husband, we were freaks in the sheets, right? We were crazy, y'all. I'm talking licking booty holes and everything. And I love my husband so much. He's my best friend. And but when I got sober, you have to understand, when I met my husband, we were high. Okay? So when we got sober, it was like sober together for a long time. You know, I had seen him sober for like a couple weeks or whatever, like we would when we were in active addiction, but nothing like it is now. And so I want you to understand, when we got sober, I was so insecure. So insecure. And to add to insult to injury, I was on Suboxone, okay? And so being on Suboxone, both of us, made us not want to have sex, made us not have any kind of sex drive, no natural horniness, you know what I mean? And so I promise you, for the first 2 years we were sober, I don't even think we talked about it. I don't even think we thought about it. Honestly, because I know the first year we were fighting to get our son back from CPS, and that was our main focus. And then our second year, we got our son back, and I was trying to learn how to be a mom, you know, sober. And he was trying to learn how to be a dad, and we were just really, really just struggling, you know. Hey, Jessica. And so the first 2 years of our sobriety, we didn't even do it at all. Now, I'm the one who initiated the conversation. I don't remember I think it was because I just felt like I felt like he wasn't attracted to me anymore. I started feeling real insecure. And so I remember I asked him, like, do you not think I'm pretty or sexy? And my husband was like, no, I think you're beautiful. I've always thought you're beautiful. And I was like, are you sure? Because we haven't had sex in like 2 years. You know what I mean? And he was like, I know. And he felt so insecure about it too. He felt so embarrassed too. And he said, he goes, Nicole, being on Suboxone, like, I don't even get the natural feeling, right? And we were both so mentally drained the first 2 years of our recovery. It was hard because, like I said, going through a traumatic experience of losing your child, like Nathaniel's both of our kids. He's our son. That Neil is his biological father, losing your child, it's a fucking traumatic experience. And us going through that together, it was really freaking hard, man. It was really, really freaking hard. Thank you, Michaela. Thank you. I really appreciate you. Katie, I totally understand, girl. I totally understand. I just love watching you because, oh God, because I'm trying to see what that says. Oh, because people don't speak out. Like, girl, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I might say too much, but oh well, fuck them. Going through that traumatic experience together, it's like the first year that Nate was gone, like I was crying every night when we would go to bed. When we would go to bed at night, I would cry because our son used to sleep with us. He was a little baby and I would have him on my chest, or he would sleep in the middle of me and my husband when he was little. And so not having him there, like, it was hard for me, man. Hard. When I tell you guys, I would close my eyes at night and I would see he had the most perfect round head when he was a baby. And I would see his perfectly round little head with his green eyes with the gold around him, and then his little face and his little mouth like this. And I would see him, and I would cry and I would cry and I would cry. And so that first and second year was tough. But anyway, I sat down and we were talking about it. And of course, I was like, I know I've gained weight. Are you not attracted to me? And that's when my husband told me, no, it has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with Suboxone. And I just don't have the feeling come naturally, right? And so that's when I realized, like, okay, we're going to have to make the feeling, we're going to have to make it happen. Because I truly believe, like, in a relationship, a husband and wife or whatever relationship, you have to have like intimacy with your partner, right? It's like important. And so I was afraid that if we didn't get that taken care of, that what if he all of a sudden started wanting to see other people or getting that feeling for somebody else or something, you know what I mean? And so I was scared that I was going to lose my husband, or at least that was what I kept on thinking. Hey, Olivia. Hey, Stacy. So we had to sit down and talk about planning sex, y'all, okay? And let me just tell y'all how hard it is, because our son is 8 years old and he's very smart. And so he knows, like, if we shut the door and lock it, for some reason, it's like his little ass will wake up in the middle of the night, right when we shut our door, and come in our room. You know what I mean? It's like he knows. It's like he is the little sex ruiner. Okay, so we had to make a plan, and that's how we did. We had to make a plan, and we had to start initiating it. And listen, this is with neither one of us getting aroused. Like, we don't feel the natural arousal, okay? And so we had to go into it blind, like not feeling horny. Just like go into it and try to make each other feel that way, like touch each other and play with each other and kiss each other and that kind of thing, rub each other. And once we would start doing that, then we would both start feeling, like, okay, we can do this. Now, there's been times where, we would start doing something and my husband, it just wouldn't happen, right? And I make sure that I never make him feel insecure. I never go, oh, God, because here's the thing, okay? He's a man, all right? And y'all's man feel this way too. They feel bad enough as it is that they're on Suboxone and that their dick is not doing what it should normally do anyway. Okay, so they already feel bad about it. And so when we do stuff like, get mad or huff and puff, even though like we're upset because we feel internally like we're getting rejected, right? But when you're both on subs, or one of y'all is on subs, it's not because the other person is trying to reject you. I promise you that. It, for some reason, Suboxone is so strong, it just fucking blocks that shit down there. You know what I mean? And so I had to learn that. So one thing I used to be really bad about, and this is before me and my husband got sober, one thing I used to be really bad about with my husband was I would get mad at him whenever he wouldn't give me the dick. Okay, or when he would, not be in the mood, or not be able to perform when I wanted him to. And men are not like women. Like, I can perform anytime. At least I can. I don't know about you guys, but I can literally think about something and be ready to go. Men, they have to get, they're is that outside thing. It's not an inside thing. And so they have to do something to make it do what it does or whatever. And so, I had to learn that I had to be gentle with my husband. I had to like really pump him up when he's doing good. You know what I'm saying? Like, build his self-confidence and let him know like how great it is and how good it feels and how much I love him, and let him know when he's not able to perform that that's okay, that I love him anyway, and that we all have days like that. You know what I mean? We all have days where it's just not happening, or we're just not in the mood. But that happens more so with people, especially when your husband is on subs or methadone. If any of you guys have a husband who's on methadone who is on Suboxone, you'll know what I'm talking about. And they, like I said, they already feel so embarrassed and guilty, because that's a man's, their dick is like their power. It's like their sword of power. You know what I mean? And so, I've learned all this though over the years of being in a relationship with my husband, because when I was younger, like, this kind of stuff didn't even come into my mind, but now I'm learning all this over time about men, Since I've been on Suboxone, my sex drive is non-existent. When I was high, I was like a jackrabbit, but now not. Yeah, same. Did you guys know Ulta is selling like vibrators, the makeup store? And they look really nice. Like, they're like cute colors and like different sizes and stuff. And so for one thing, I don't have one, but I'm really seriously thinking about ordering one. Okay. Hey, Janelle, what's up, girl? I'm seriously thinking about ordering one of those little vibrators, because that thing, all I have to do is put it down there, baby, and it's time, honey. That little vibrator is like whining and dining me, baby. You know what I mean? Now, I can tell you guys about all the trauma that I have been through, like sexual trauma I have been through, like being raped, and then just having to, when I was in my active addiction, I would do things with people to get drugs for free. And so I'll tell you that getting sober and having sober sex with my husband, I cried a lot the first few times. Well, I don't even want to say the first few times. The first year, every time we would have sex, I would cry my eyes out. Okay? I would cry my eyes out. Alcohol, my sex drive is gone, and I don't know of any way to help. Well, you're in the right place, honey, because that's what we're talking about. I would cry every time we would get intimate, because I just felt so overwhelmed. And I had never felt like safe and loved and cared for, you know what I mean? All the relationships that I had ever been in before my husband were horrible, abusive relationships, people that just took advantage of me and that kind of thing, So when I met my husband, we were high for so many years that I guess I didn't really, that kind of stuff I didn't think about it. But once I got sober, it was like, and then I would cry, and my husband would be like, why are you crying? What's wrong? And then I would have to explain to him that there's nothing wrong with anything that he's doing, that it's with me. You know what I mean? It's like having to fall in love all over again. Yes, Cynthia. Yeah, exactly. And so you can just imagine being him and me bawling my eyes out. I mean, what a turnoff. You know what I mean? But that's what it was like. Like the first fucking 6 months to a year was me crying every time. And I just struggled. But now I'm so much better, you guys. And I feel so much more confident, So Gabrielle, I was in the relationship that I was in. It was mentally, physically, verbally, emotionally, all of that abuse. Okay. And I can tell you that this man had beat me down so bad that I was brainwashed that I didn't deserve any better. And that was who I was going to be with for the rest of my life. And that was going to be my relationship. And I wish I could tell you that I came on and I said, fuck you, I'm out of here. But I didn't leave him. This dude had to leave me. That's how sick and brainwashed I was. Because I was going to allow him to continue hurting me over and over and over again until he killed me. Like, I truly believed that I deserved it. Now that I'm out of that relationship and I'm in a healthy relationship, it's hard. It was hard, at least at the beginning. I'll tell you, for example, my husband, when I first met him, he opened the car door for me. And I fucking stepped back and I looked at him and I was like, why are you doing that? Why are you opening the car door for me? And he was like, you always open the car door for a lady. You know, like, this is what you're supposed to do. And then he paid for my shit at the gas station. And I was like, why are you paying for my stuff? You know what I mean? Because I had never been with a man who put me first or treated me with respect or anything like that, you know? And so all these things that my husband was doing, yeah, I'm going to leave it up, Alexa. All these things that my husband was doing, you guys, I was so uncomfortable with because I had never been treated right. I had never been treated with respect. And so I would question everything that he was doing. Like, is there an ulterior motive? Why are you doing this? And honestly, he was just doing it because he cared about me and he wanted to get to know me. He was actually interested in me and he wanted to show that to me, right? And so it was hard for me to allow that to happen without trying to buck back. Now, how have I been able to heal? Over the years, it has just taken me time. It's taken me time. Me and my husband have been together for 10 years, okay? We've been married for 4 years, 3.5 years. And so we are just going through this together blind, okay? We're both learning how to be a mom and dad blind, you know? And we worked through things together, and we're not a perfect couple. We have arguments, you know? Did you have family to help get out? Because I don't. No, I didn't, Gabrielle. What happened was he left me for another woman. He left me for another woman, and I woke up that morning, and everything that I owned that was of value, all my diamond rings, all my necklaces, were gone. I had been robbed in the middle of the night in our home while we were asleep, and he didn't come home that night. So what he did was he came home that night while I was asleep, passed out, and stole all my shit. All right? Him or his friends. And then I kept calling his sister trying to find out where he was. And then that's when she told me that he was with this girl named Ashley and that he wasn't going to come back. And that's when I said, okay. And I said, motherfucker, I'm taking everything. And I cleaned the whole trailer out, took everything that he owned and that I owned. And you know how I got help? I rode down to the Walmart in my car to get boxes and trash bags. And I found 4 country ass looking dudes there. Okay. All 4 of them had big ass Dodge Ram trucks jacked up. And I walked up to those fucking big ass country ass looking dudes and I said, I'm in a domestic violence relationship and I'm going to move all my shit out today. Will you guys help me? And they said, sure. And these motherfuckers followed me to the trailer and we threw all that shit. It took us literally 45 minutes to clean that whole trailer out from bap to bap. And we got it all in those dudes' trucks and they rode with me over to my friend Nikki's house and we unloaded it there. And that's all I did. I didn't even know the dudes. I've never met them a day in my life. But down here in the South, one thing I can tell you is that a man either is a wife beater or he's totally against men and beating women. So you can get either one. And I had just happened to fall upon these nice guys who were totally against, you know, beating your woman. But my mom and my dad, they would have helped me if I had called them. But I wouldn't call them because I was so ashamed. Because my dad had been telling me for years, Nicole, you've got to get out of that relationship. I'm so afraid that we're going to bury you. You know, my dad would tell me that he told me I had battered woman's syndrome. Because this guy, and my parents raised me right. I knew that I deserved better, but this guy took me, and he took me from what I had been molded into by my family and my parents, and he molded me into this person who was insecure and felt less than and didn't feel loved and held my head down. I'm the kind of girl that when I meet people, I'm like, hey, what's up? My name's Nicole. Not with this dude. I couldn't introduce myself to people. I had to look down at the ground. I had to be like, basically had to listen to what he told me to do. I couldn't even be myself, dude. I remember the one time that I was myself at a party, and I was talking to these guys that we all knew. We were all friends with him. And he got pissed, and he threatened to bust me over the head with a beer bottle. And those dudes heard him, and it was on and popping, dude. It was crazy. They jumped us, and LD was driving my car. They thought it was LD's car, and they took my car door off the hinges. My passenger side door off the hinges completely, busted my windshield, jumping us because they heard him talking about busting me over the head with a beer bottle. It was crazy. But going through all that kind of trauma and shit, like, and then being with my husband and trying to, like, not have those traumatic things come up in my mind, you know, like, we've had to, I talk to my husband about this kind of stuff all the time. He knows everything about my past. Now, I saw somebody talk about having no sex drive, and they just got sober from alcohol. And so for the guys, you guys, and I'm just going to be straight up with you guys, like, if you're having problems getting, like, you know, into the mood for your wife and stuff, like, this is what I would want my husband to do or my significant other. I don't want you to just go sign on Pornhub and start watching porn. Don't let me catch you, motherfucker, looking at porn, okay? If we are going to do it, we're going to do it together. If we're going to watch porn, we're going to watch porn together. We're not going to just go and look at it by ourselves. You know what I'm saying? I hate that shit. Think that's sneaky, shady shit. And that's something that, and I've talked to my husband about this before. Like, if we were going to do that, we would do it together. And if you're having some problems, like getting aroused, the best thing I think you can do if you're a man is let your lady know. Tell her, like, I'm just not feeling it naturally. And I'll tell you something right now. If my man tells me that he's having problems and it's not just happening naturally, then I'm going to go to work and try to make it happen not naturally. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to try and do the best thing I can to help him to make it happen. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you're still having, like, a hard time because you're, you know, because your significant other is trying to make it happen, she's trying to touch you and suck you and do all the things that she knows that you like, and it's still not happening, right? Oh gosh, for men, I know for men that there's medication out there. At least you guys got something you can take that can help you with that, okay? There's those, what's called Viagra or something like that. But a lot of the times I think it's just a mental block. At least that's what my husband explains it to me. He explains it to me like, if he can get his brain out of the way and it just be like a act, then it's easier for him to do it. But if he has something on his mind, or if he's stressed out or overwhelmed or feels embarrassed, that will be the thing that will block him, you know what I mean, from being able to perform. And so if it's a situation like that where you're having, like, a hard time and you're blocked off because of, like, what you're thinking about, or if you're overwhelmed, or if you're depressed, the best thing I believe that you can do is to sit down with your significant other and talk to them and let them know that. Because a lot of the times that's the problem, is that we are ashamed and embarrassed, and we don't want to tell our significant other that our appendage is not working right? And so a lot of the times, if you'll tell her that, your wife that, or your girlfriend that, she's going to totally understand, you know what I mean? Because we go through the same thing. You know, girls go through the same thing where we're not getting lubed up, right? We're super dry, drier than the Sahara. And let me just tell you something. Have you had a man try to do it to you when you're drier than the Sahara? Lord help me Jesus. It feels like sandpaper. It's the worst feeling in the whole wide world. Hey, Rachel. Hey, Renee. And so who wants to do that? I never want my man and me to feel like we have to do this and go against what we're feeling naturally, because one person is upset with the other, right? And that's why I was telling you guys earlier, like, I never try to make my husband feel ashamed, okay? If he can't get hard and he can't perform, then I understand. I love him. I still am attracted to him. It has nothing to do with our relationship, and I try to let him know that, you know? My problem is I associate sex with what happened before. Kelly. So we did talk about that a little bit, Kelly. And so I can understand, because whenever probably about a year or two after I had that guy rape me, that is exactly the way I felt. It was every time I felt afraid, right? My heart would start beating real fast and I would just get real afraid. But I think what's helped me with that is talking. And this is how I get through everything a lot of the times, you guys, is by talking about what I'm struggling with. I process it. Hey, Brianna, I started watching you not too long ago, and I love it because my cousin struggles with addiction. Hey, I'm glad that you're here. Thank you for coming in. I've got body dysmorphia from listening to people put me down. Rachel, I can totally understand that. So that's one of the main things that was prohibiting me from being able to have sex with my husband. Okay. Was me feeling like I was fat and like I was ugly and that he wasn't attracted to me. Okay. And that's probably one of my biggest insecurities of all time. And so, and you know, the people, when I get put down, it's normally on social media. Like, I've never had anybody put me down to my face. The only time I ever get called fat and shit like that is from social media or that past relationship that I was in with that guy who used to beat me up, LD. But any other time, I haven't had that. But that was long enough whenever I was in that relationship with LD. What helped me was my husband letting me know that he's attracted to me no matter what. No matter if I'm fucking 500 pounds or 100 pounds, that he's attracted to me any time. And you know what else helped me with that? Was like him getting turned on by me while we're having sex. Like that really, or while we're getting ready to have sex, that really started to like let me know that, hey, I still got it. You know what I mean? Having my babies, I had 2 in 1 year. Oh, and you know, when Nate was born, I gave birth to Nate, and I think I was like 200 pounds when I gave birth to him, maybe 205. And then I went down to like 180, 170. And then I went down to 150, and I went down to like 130 in my addiction. I'll never get that skinny ever again. That's too skinny for me. I wish that it was just naturally for me and easy for me to just lose weight, but it's not. I struggle with her being addicted, and I've been trying to help her, but she keeps going back. I love her. What is the best advice you can give me? It's your cousin. Does she want? Have you been able to sit down with her and ask her, like, cousin, do you want to change your life? Do you want to get sober? And if she says, yes, I do want to get sober, then ask her what part is she struggling with, right? Is it that she doesn't like to go to rehab? Is it that she needs therapy and counseling? Like, cause 9 times out of 10, like, we know what we need help with, right? And so for me, I did great in rehab. What I needed the care after rehab. I was struggling to stay sober. About 6 months into it is when I would relapse. So I needed the outpatient rehab treatment, you know, and support. It's a name, but ever since I could remember, like, I don't feel hungry. At one point I did, but I was able to do it for so long. I really thought I wasn't hungry, and I won't eat for days. Then I'll eat a little bit, then not until I'm comfortable. Now I'm trying to eat healthier and walk. Shit, I wish I had that feeling. I don't know what that's called, not being hungry, but I'm sure there's something for it. So if you are a lady and you are struggling to have sex with your significant other because of thoughts of the abuse or rape that you went through in the past, this is what I want you to try to do, okay? What has helped me besides talking about it, and you could listen to me, find somebody that you trust, that you can talk to, that will listen to you, okay? Share about what happened to you. Another thing that helps me a lot is to journal and write things down. For me, when I journal things and I see it written down on paper, I don't know if it's like, I don't know, I guess it's because I see it on paper, but because I see that I've written it down, I feel like I've gotten it out of me, because it went out of me, through my arm, through the pen, and onto the paper. You know what I mean? Is the one giving it to her, and she says yes, but she keeps going back, and every time she goes back, he gets her back on it. Yeah, Brianna, I'm going to tell you right now, until you get her away from that dude and she don't go back, it's going to be like this over and over again. Or unless he wants to get sober, you know what I mean? And we have people who are couples who try to get sober together, and some succeed and some don't. It really depends. What I've noticed is on the age of the people. So like me and my husband, I was 31 and he was like 40 or 39 whenever we both got sober together. And we got sober together. We had our son. We were, we were trying to grow a life together. So we wanted to get sober and stay sober. You know what I mean? Yeah, I get what you're trying to say, Rachel. Yeah, it's when it's easier, and it's easier whenever you have your significant other who's providing you with substances. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what makes it even harder for her to get sober, is that she knows that anytime she's feeling down and out, she could just go back to him. You know what I mean? What normally has to happen, or what I've noticed, is that something bad has to happen. What happened for me was me and my husband's son, our son got taken away. And that is what snapped us out of it. Do you know what I'm saying? And I don't want anything bad to happen to anybody, of course, but it's like we need something to wake us up, because we have gotten so dulled and stuck in our disease that we are just like going with emotions. We are in autopilot, okay? Straight up autopilot. And I don't even think we think about, hey, King James, that's exactly what we're talking about. What sex life? We were actually talking about, struggling with our sex life after getting sober. If you have anything to add to that, we would love to hear from you. The best thing that you can do as her cousin and her friend is let her know that you're there to support her, and that you're there. Thanks, Paula. That you're there to support her, and that when she is finally ready to get sober, that you will be there to help any way that you can. Just let her know that, you know what I mean? Because a lot of people don't realize that they have the support from their loved ones when they want to get sober. So just let her know, hey, when you want to get sober, I'm here for you. I will do anything I can to help you. In fact, what you could do is have a plan of action. Let her know, hey, I've already reached out to some centers, some treatment centers, and I've already reached out to some doctors, whatever you guys plan on doing for her recovery. And whenever you're ready, we are here ready for you, so that way maybe that will even give her more of the, hey, I can do this. My cousin has got shit held down for me. She's got it ready for me when I want it. Thanks, Xavier. So, having sex after you get sober is scary. It's scary because, like I said, I feel like what's going to happen? Is he going to be attracted to me? Does he love me still? Is it going to feel good? Am I going to be able to do it right? Like all these things, and I never thought about those things in active addiction. When I was in active addiction, I didn't think anything. I just did it. You know what I mean? And so now, once I got sober and me and my husband were sober together, I think we both maybe felt like that, but he just didn't say anything about it, because I know he's sensitive like I am, And so I just want you to imagine having sex with your wife, because we're married, for the first time in over 2 years, because y'all have literally not had sex in 2 years because of 1, getting sober, 2, getting your kid back, and all this, and 3, being on medication that makes you not feel that feeling, okay? And then you finally make it, and y'all are doing it, and your wife is crying in the middle of it. What the hell? So that's what's happening. We are having sex and I have tears running down my eyes. And I'm not like a pretty crier. Y'all know what I look like when I cry. I'm an ugly crier. And the reason why I'm crying is because I'm just so grateful and I just love my husband so much. And he's like, okay. So it's very awkward, man. It's so awkward. And that's exactly how it was for me and my husband when we got sober. It was awkward as fuck. Okay. But you know what? Y'all, we're both trying to get to the same place, right? And so what I had to start learning is that there's nothing to be ashamed of or embarrassed about. Okay. Like, this is your significant other, you guys. They love you. They care about you. They love you just the way you are, right? They love you at any size that you're at. Okay. And so once you can be confident that the person that you're with is attracted to you and loves you and finds you attractive, that was really important for me to get to that point, because until I felt that way, I couldn't have sex and be fulfilled, because I was constantly thinking, like, am I doing this right? Do I look fat while I'm doing this? Does this feel good to him? You know what I mean? Like, it was like my mind was overthinking and blocking me out from being able to perform, right? So sitting down with my husband and talking to him and asking him straight up, you know, standing in front of him naked, you know, and being like, this is me. This is what I look like, you know. Are you still attracted to me? Please tell me the truth. And I would want him to tell me the truth, because if I could change and do better, I would, you know. And even though my husband is attracted to me the way I am now, doesn't mean that this is where I'm happy. And that's why I'm trying to work on getting myself in shape, so that way I feel better about myself, because I want to feel good. I want to feel confident when I take my clothes off. I want to feel beautiful when I sit in front of him with my cute little panties and my cute little bra on. You know, I want to feel good about myself. And so if you're like me, I know you feel the same way. But as far as being on Suboxone and not having any sex drive, you guys, like, seriously, for the dudes, you might want to look into something like Viagra, seriously. And for us girls, like, you have to get a toy, man. If you can get a toy, it helps out a lot. It helps out a lot because it helps to, like, just make it, you know, arouse. Because naturally, it doesn't happen on Suboxone. At least it doesn't for me. To any of you guys that are on subs, do any of y'all have a natural, like, drive to have sex? Almost every person that I've met doesn't come naturally on the Suboxone. It's just so hard. And I know that can, like, I know some people who they are embarrassed to talk to their significant other about it. So it ends up blocking both of them. And so that's why relationships deteriorate, you know? So that's right, James. That's right. When me and my husband, I just have to tell y'all, I can make fun of myself. I'm crying and we're having sex. And I know my poor husband is like, why is she crying? And here's the thing, you guys have to understand something. Like, I cry a lot. I'm very emotional. I cry when I watch a sad story. I cry when I do videos that are very emotional for me. I'm going to go wash my face while I talk to you guys, okay? I cry when I do you know, some reels that I make me very emotional. Like earlier today, I was talking about the toxic relationship that I was in for like 5.5 years. And that guy used to beat my ass, right? And that, can y'all hear me? And that made me like really emotional talking about that. Then I also got emotional about talking about pregnancy and addiction. Because if I could change one thing in my past, it would be the fact that I used drugs while I was pregnant. That's the one thing that I am still so ashamed of, right? Thank you, Andrea. And so, but the reason why I share about it is because I want to help other women who are out there who might be pregnant and feeling like they can't tell anybody. Because that was the reason why I kept using, was because I thought that if I asked for help, then my son would get taken away from me, right? And so this is such a huge misconception for so many women, that if they ask for help, then their child is going to get taken away from them right away. And I believe that shouldn't happen. I believe that if a woman asks for help and she goes into treatment and gets help while she's pregnant, I don't even think CPS should even be brought into the situation, because they're doing the right thing and they took the steps to get sober and turn their life around, you know. But that's why women don't reach out for help, because of the fear of losing their children. Having your children taken away from you guys, it's the Clinique Take the Day Off Balm. It's really good too. I really like it a lot. Clinique. And then I'm going to use, this is just a regular wipey I just used to wipe that off. Okay, then I use the Murad AHA DHA cleansing solution. That's why women don't get help, okay? Because we're afraid to get the help, because we're afraid if we reach out, then our kids are going to get taken away. So how can we help more women get sober while pregnant? Well, taking away that fear and letting them know, like, hey, your kid's not going to get taken away from you, okay? Like, you're reaching for help. You did the right thing. And so we're not going to step in and take your child. That's what I believe should happen, is that they need to be let known and reassured, you know? Now, when I got help after my son got taken away, you know, I worked really, really hard to get my son back, you guys, really hard. I jumped through hoops. I jumped through every hoop that they laid down for me. And I could have done it, I would have done it a million times if they told me I had to do it a million times, because that's how dedicated I was to getting my son back, you know? My son is my everything. And I know I fucked up, you know, and so I had to do the work to get him back. But man, I'm so happy that I did, you guys. Best decision of my whole entire life was getting sober when they took Nathaniel. Because I know some people who I'm friends with, and I'm not blaming them or making fun of them, but they weren't able to get sober when their kids got taken away. And what I've seen happen to people that do that is they go deeper down in a hole of addiction. Hey, Jacob. Then I double cleanse, so I use the Tarte Knockout next. So when we go down further in that hey Justin, in that hole of addiction, because we get depressed because we have lost our children, you know. Hey Katie, well, you missed a whole talk about sex. We talked about sex and addiction, sex and sobriety.
New visitor.
But now we're just chatting about everything. I do want you guys to do me a favor though, okay? Go over to my YouTube channel and watch the new video I uploaded, because I am going to be uploading videos on my YouTube channel more frequently. So I went ahead and I made an introduction to my YouTube channel, letting everybody know who I am, why I'm making videos, and I'm asking everybody for some like tips and topics that they want me to talk about. You know what I mean? Oh no, Amber, no, that new visitor thing is from the website. So I manage Dr. B's website for him. And so whenever a new person comes to the website, it'll say that. And if they like want to talk, because I run the live chat, then it will give me a little doo-doo, and it'll tell me that they want to have a chat, like a new visitor in the chat thing. But you still are. Welcome, new girl, new visitor. Yeah. You know how like some treatment centers, when you go onto their website, it'll pop up and there'll be somebody in the chat that says, hey, how can I help you? That's what that thing is. It's me saying, hey, how can I help you, to the new people that come on the website. Where's that? Okay. I love talking about different stuff, you know, and that's why I'm trying to find out from you guys what y'all want to talk about. Now, don't get me wrong, you guys. I'm not like a genius or anything. I'm not the end-all, be-all in recovery. So basically, all I can do is share my experiences, right? And so that's what I try to do on here on Facebook, is just share with you guys my stories, you know? How's your taper? It's hard as hell, but so worth it. Oh, girl, I'm still on 0.25. I actually haven't tapered any more down, but I'm so low that when I do finally jump, I'll jump from where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm on such a little bit amount. I'm on 1/4 of 1 milligram. Yes, it did. Yes, absolutely, Jacob. And we were actually talking about that, like with me and my husband. I was telling everybody about how, you know, for a man, men feel embarrassment when they can't perform, right? That's why I'm going so slow, girl, because I don't want to go through any of that. And I just, honestly, like, I'm not ready to get off right now. My little boy is in school. I got just stuff going on. And so it's just easier for me to stay where I'm at and just wait until, like, what I figure I'll do is I'll start skipping days. And so I'll probably, you know, take it on a Monday and then not take it Tuesday, Wednesday, then take it Thursday, and just skip days until I finally skip so many days that I'm off of it. So yesterday we did the ordinary AHA BHA peel. For those of you guys that don't know, this is like $9 on Sephora or Ulta, and it is amazing. It looks like period blood when you put it on your face, but it is 30% alpha hydroxy acid and 2% beta hydroxy acid. And it's a 10-minute exfoliating facial peel. And it's so freaking good. I love it. I swear by it. I use it 2 times a week because it's strong and you're not supposed to use it every day. Okay, so now we're going to use the Skin Renewing Retinol Serum. Okay? So, now that me and my husband, you know, have been sober for a while and we've been together for as long as we have, now we can talk about anything. But when we first got together, it was hard for us to talk about, you know, sex stuff. And I was very insecure. Now I feel very secure and I can talk about it with anybody. I can talk about it with you guys. I can talk about it with him. Because it's a natural thing, honey. It's a natural thing. But when you're raised up in a Christian home like I was, you guys, I was raised up in a household where we were taught that sex before marriage, you go to hell. Okay? And so, how many of y'all were like that? Anybody? What were you getting sick from? Were you just, your body didn't do well with it? See, I'm so comfortable where I'm at. I don't have any issues. That's what's so crazy. And people are like, well, why do you want to, why even get off of it? And I'm just like, I mean, because I want to see if I could do it. You know what I'm saying? Now, I did jump off for about 2 weeks, but I was so depressed. I said, fucking hell with that. And I got back on, you know? Thanks, Paula. Hey, Autumn, what's up, girl? That's where I got to a place in my recovery where I was asking myself, like, why am I trying to get off? Like, it's not bothering me any. I'm not uncomfortable. I'm happy. Like, why do I keep doing this to myself? Like, just chill out. And that's when I decided I was just going to chill out and wait until I felt like it was time. You know what I mean? And I've been doing, ever since I let go of like this obsession to get off of subs, I felt a lot more confident now. You know what I mean? I used to beat myself up about it all the time and I almost felt ashamed of my sobriety. And I'm like, why do I, sorry, this looks like jizz. You know what I mean? I kept on beating myself up about it. But that's why I kind of just paused where I'm at and letting myself feel, you know, just be balanced and regular. Yeah, I can't handle that depression, okay? Like, I have really bad depression anyway, and so I cannot deal with that. Like, seriously, it put me in a very, very dark hole. And so I'm trying to work on, like, some different medication than what I'm on now, because I know it's going to come back around during the winter time. So I have really, really, really bad seasonal depression, you guys, to the point where, like, I won't get out of the bed, okay? I won't get out of the bed. And so it gets dark fast. Okay? And so I have to figure out something for this winter time because I know it's going to come. It comes every winter bad. And so I'm on Wellbutrin and Lexapro, which used to work great. But what I've noticed about myself is that I get used to the meds that I'm on and they stop giving me the benefits that they gave me at first. Do you know what I'm saying? It sucks. I got to get my pajamas on.
Wow, I wonder where they were.
Yeah, it's normal when you're coming off of any kind of medication, but I have it just even without coming off meds. Like, I will have it during the winter time this year, and I have it every winter. And so if you guys go back and you watch my YouTube channel, you can see how I go through the seasons. You'll see it. You can literally see how my how I change and how, like, I get sad during the summer or during the winter time and get happy during the summertime. Sorry, I'm changing my pants. Now, when I first got sober, I used to have, it's crazy because I had anxiety since I was a little girl. I used to think that people were going to carjack us when I was a little girl. Isn't that crazy? I used to be so afraid when I would ride with my mom and dad in their cars that I would beg them to put the locks on the door because somebody was going to carjack us. I just knew it. Like, who thinks that? You know, I was like 7 thinking that we're going to get carjacked. But my anxiety really came out when I first got sober, and I would try to, like, go to the store, like the cigarette store or something like that, and get cigarettes. I couldn't even talk to the cashier. I would stutter so bad. And y'all know how much of a talker I am, okay? I would stutter so bad I couldn't get the words out. That's how, like, anxious I was. Okay. Ow, my back. But I'll tell you this, okay? Coming off of MAT, because it's such a powerful medication, it's such a long-acting drug, like, it's gonna put anybody in a bad spot. I think mentally, you know what I mean? It's gonna be hard for anybody too. Victoria, I totally understand, girl. I totally understand. And, you know, I think a lot of the reasons why I get afraid also is that I always think in my mind, like, Nicole, do you have this? Well, do you have this? What if you get off one day and you like all of a sudden want to use opiates again? You know what I would do? I would get right back on subs. Medication assisted treatment. I would get right back on subs. But that's just my negative mind trying to keep me from doing it, you know? This is what I believe, okay? I believe because I'm on such a low amount, like I said, one day it'll just naturally come to me. Today's the day. Today's the day. You know what I'm saying? So, because when I tried to do it before, it was because I was trying to please people. I was trying to show other people what I could do it instead of doing it for myself. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's not a good place to do it. But it's easy to get caught up in that, being somebody that makes content online, because people will shame you and will make fun of you for being on MAT. And so it was almost like I felt like I had to, you know, and if I didn't, then I was, you know, not going to be, then if I didn't, then my recovery wasn't actually what I say it is, you know? So that's what happened to me. Woke up and said, this is my last dose. Yeah. And that's what I feel like, because whenever I jumped off before, it was because I felt pressured to. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that's not how it's supposed to be. It happens naturally. You know what I mean? Naturally. So, what's up, you guys? Hopefully welcome to Discovering Nicole, or welcome back. Okay. I made this video. Aw, I love you guys. Brittany says, I admire how much of a go-getter you are. Can't hold her down. Stay true to yourself and keep doing you, Nicole. You have helped me in my recovery in so many ways. Ugh, made me cry. Yes, all the time, honey, all the time. People are always looking at me. I feel like they almost want me to fail. You know what I mean? Isn't that the worst feeling to have? Like, I hate that. And I know it. I know that there's people like that because these are people who like post about me online all the time and like talk shit about me and my husband. Like, okay, tonight I talked a lot about me and my husband and sex and stuff like that. These people will take this great conversation that we had tonight about how I shared about me and my husband growing together and, you know, coming together and being able to love each other and all these things. And somebody will take this video and chop it up or just say how they want to say, and it'll be all horrible stuff, you know? Paula, he knows. I have been completely 100% honest with him about that. 100%. I told my son, he was probably like 4 years old when I first talked to him about it, because that's when I felt like he could understand. But he's really smart now, and he knows exactly what drugs are. He knows, you know, that I had issues with drugs and that he got taken away from me because I couldn't stop using drugs. And he's very, very smart. The reason why I told my son so early too, you guys, was because I didn't want someone else to tell him. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want somebody else to tell my son and him hear it from them. When I had my first partner at the time said he could not look at me the same. 2 months later, I was pregnant again. Oh, no. So as I said, I had 2 babies in 1 year. Then a year later, another baby. But when I smoke heroin, which was given to me from my ex-boyfriend and baby daddy, but thank you, that led to my addiction. Hey, thank you. PAWS is post-acute withdrawal syndrome. Post-acute withdrawal syndrome, okay? So they say that post-acute withdrawal syndrome can last all the way up to 2 years, okay? I will tell you, the main time that I've ever really felt post-acute withdrawal was when I came off of benzos, okay? When I came off benzos, I will never forget it, you all, because it was about 8 months of killer post-acute withdrawal. My heart was I was having heart palpitations. Yeah, I don't care if you share your group. It's fine. I was having heart palpitations, okay? I had burning of the skin. I had problems with my digestive tract. It was hell on earth. Me and my siblings all had issues. So far, Paula, so good. We haven't noticed anything yet. When he was born, they did the APGAR test on him, and he scored really well on the APGAR scores. And he was like super easy to breastfeed. When he was probably around 9 months old, I started to notice that he wasn't answering by his name. I would call his name and he wouldn't turn around and look at me. And so I was like, oh my God, he's deaf, you know? Well, we took him to the doctor and he had fluid on his eardrums, right? So they had to, yes, it is bad, Gina. It was horrible. They had to put tubes in his ears. So he got tubes in his ears, and then he could hear, and I would be like, Nathaniel, and he'd turn around, his little face. Now that he's older, the only thing that I've noticed that I think could be a direct result of like him being taken away from me is that whenever I pick him up from school, if I'm even 1 minute late, and when I say late, what I mean by that is I'm not there waiting at the door when he walks out. Because normally I'm right there. When he walks out, he sees me right away. If I'm walking up and I'm not standing there, then he starts crying. He gets red in the face. So he gets a lot of anxiety when he thinks that I'm not there on time. So, and I'm never not there on time. I think 1 or 2 times I was walking up as he was coming out the door with his class, and he was tearing up already. So I think that that's kind of like that anxiety is from, he doesn't remember being taken away, but I think his body remembers, you know? Yeah, that's because gabapentin is just like benzos. You know that. It affects the same areas as benzos do. And so that's why when I see people who tell me that their doctor is tapering them and giving them gabapentin to get off of benzos, I'm like, what the fuck? No, don't do that. But so far, Nate is doing really, really well. He's doing really good in his learning. So I've been working with him every day after school on his homework. We do homework every day. And y'all have to understand something, okay? Last year, it was really hard for me and my son. I didn't talk until I was like 5, even try to before. Now I never shut up. Yeah, that's right. My little nephew, he didn't talk until he was like 4 or 5 either. But it wasn't because my sister was on drugs or anything. She was sober during her pregnancy. He actually was in the umbilical cord got wrapped around my nephew's neck. And the doctor wouldn't fucking do a C-section. So he went some time without oxygen to his brain. And so when he came out, he was having seizures like all the time the first like 10 months that he was alive. And anyway, he ended up being diagnosed with Asperger's, being on the autism spectrum. But when I tell you, this kid is he's so fucking smart, dude. He is really, really smart. He's cool as fuck, dude. He drives his own car. He has his own job. I mean, like, I was so worried that he wasn't going to be able to, like, do normal things because he used to really struggle when he was little. But I think because our family is so loud and so outgoing and just... It really forced my nephew, because of his autism, to kind of like get through that shit, you know, because he would have sensory issues and stuff. But growing up and being raised with our big ass, loud ass Italian family, like, it really helped him a lot. Like, it's crazy. Y'all should see it, because he used to not be able to be around like that kind of loud noise and stuff. Now he's just like me. Hey, Aunt Nicole, give me a big old hug. He's so big, he picks me up in the air, you know? And he's adapted because of our family and how our family is, you know? Well, it's not a benzo, but it's like a benzo. Like, it works on the same areas in your brain as the benzos do. But it will cause you to withdraw. Yes, Paula. So a lot of people will say, oh, you won't withdraw coming off gabapentin. The hell you won't. It is no fun, you know. But anyway, I love you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed hanging out with me tonight and talking about sex. And I hope y'all know, like, I'm just trying to share with you guys, like, stuff that's worked for me. You know, like, I support you guys, and I want y'all to know that I understand the struggle, you know. And when I do finally decide to jump off of Suboxone, y'all will be the first people to know, I promise. But I will probably do it like I said, it'll be a really slow situation, and I will do it just really naturally. Like, one day it's just going to come to me, you know, and we're going to do it. I made a bunch of videos today on Reels. I hope you guys enjoyed those. And then tomorrow we're going to do our regular 3:45 live. And we really, truly appreciate it. Hey, I'm so happy. You guys don't understand how much it makes me happy that you enjoy coming to these lives with me. Okay? Like, I work really hard to, you know, make sure that I stay consistent and stuff. But I look at other people who do lives and they do their videos and they're like all professional and stuff, you know? But I'm just not like that. Like, that's not my personality. Like, this is me. What you see is what you get. You know what I mean? Gina, don't be discouraged, baby. You're not stuck for life. Listen to me. Where do you live at, Gina? So you're on methadone? If you are struggling and you're on methadone and you feel like you don't want to be on it anymore, have you talked to your doctor about tapering you, like doing a blind taper with you? That would be a great, great thing, okay? Like, let me explain it to you if you don't know what it is. A blind taper is where your clinic takes away the milligrams, but they don't tell you how much. So let's say you're on 100 milligrams and your clinic will take away 10 milligrams or something, right? And you go down to 90, right? It'll help you slowly but surely go down, okay? And you won't know. You need to talk to them about it, because the reason why you're struggling is because of your mind, okay? The brain is powerful. So if you're telling yourself, I've got these liquid handcuffs, I'm never going to get off methadone. Methadone is the hardest to get off of. You're literally, your mind, you're cementing that into your system, your existence, okay? So what you got to do is you got to be like, I'm going to overcome this. Methadone helped me a lot, but now it's time for me to part ways from it. And I am going to kick ass and take names. I'm telling you 100%, okay? I can make myself go into withdrawal, okay? I can go and buy a sack of dope, do a shot, okay, of heroin or fentanyl or whatever. And then I can make myself go into withdrawal 30 minutes later because I'm worrying about not being able to have my dope for the next morning. Okay, y'all know what I'm talking about. When you know that you just did all the dope and you don't have a wake-up shot. And so you're rocking back and forth, you're tripping, and you literally put yourself into withdrawal. So think about that. If we have the power in our minds to make ourselves go into withdrawal, then that means that we can do anything with our minds, that we can overcome anything. And I have to tell myself this too, y'all, okay? It's easier said than done, but I'm telling you guys, get with your clinic, okay? And ask them if they will blind taper you, all right? If they won't blind taper you, then you get your fucking take-home bottles. You sit down with your significant other and y'all work on them. You know, y'all take out a certain amount every day and try to do it like that, where you're taking out the right amount every day. But what they'll do if they don't blind taper you, they're just going to tell you, okay, this week you're going down 2 milligrams. Okay, this week you're going down 3 milligrams or whatever. And so that's where I see people that are having the problems, right? Is because their mind knows that they're going down, and so that fucks with them. And so that's, like, I'm telling you guys this. I would say that 60% of withdrawal is physical, and the other 40% is mental. That is how strong our mind is. That is damn near 50-50. Serious to death. And you know what? I would even say this. You're lucky that you're on methadone, because they can literally blind taper you. They can't do that on subs. Okay, I wish that somebody could just take the milligrams away from me without me knowing. Okay, like, you're lucky that they have the power to do that for you. And I bet you your clinic would be more than willing to help you with that. Oh no, honey, I was addicted to all drugs. I was addicted to meth, oxys, cocaine, and Xanax. So the way it happened was this, okay? I started using meth when I was 17 years old. And I was strictly really using meth, and I would do cocaine every now and then, meth and alcohol and weed, right? By the time I was like 21, that's when I started to shoot cocaine up, okay? And I got stuck on cocaine for a minute. Then once I was shooting cocaine up, but I think what happened was I was shooting up so much that my veins were starting to like fuck up, so I couldn't really get my veins anymore. So that's when I started popping pills, just taking oxys, and I was taking oxys and somas and Xanaxes, popping them, y'all. I wasn't snorting them. I was taking like 10 pills at a time. It was crazy. And I got bad off on pills for a long time, and then I went back to meth and was shooting meth, got arrested, went to prison, then got out of prison, and that's when I started shooting up oxys. And oxys, when I started shooting up opiates, I fell in love. And so I was back and forth. I was doing oxys and meth. Sometimes I would stay up for like 3 or 4 days, and then I would say, oh, I need to do some oxys to help me come down from the meth. Or I need to take me some Xanax to help me come down from the meth. So it was like oxy, meth, and oxy, meth, and Xanax were like my best friends. But yeah, you can shoot cocaine, and when I tell you that it is not... One of the first times I shot cocaine, and this is why I got hooked on it so bad, was my friend, all we had was a medic syringe from the Army. So it had a big barrel like this, and then the needle on it was like that thick. Okay? I didn't really think about the amount of water to cocaine because I was pulling it up in that big ass barrel syringe. And so when I shot it up, literally, this is what happened. I shot it up. The minute it went into my veins, I went, oh, bam, it hit the ground. Okay? Oh, down. And I was just on the ground, right? With a needle hanging out of my arm. And when my eyes woke back up, my friend was standing above me, and she pulled the needle out of my arm, and she said my fucking lips were blue, dude. And it was like my fucking heart had just skipped a beat or something. It almost gave me a heart attack, okay? Like, it was so fucking crazy. And after that, the moment she got me up and I opened my eyes, I was like, I gotta do that again. Because I could just feel it was like my pupils were so wide open that I was seeing different colors and shit. It was wild. And I could hear this like in my ears. It was really, really crazy. That was one thing that I chased for a long time. That and meth. And it's like you only get this feeling like one time normally. And then you find yourself chasing it for the rest of your life. And that's what happened to me because it was so addicting. And the feeling to me was so good that I kept chasing it. And that's what happens to a lot of people, is that the feeling is so powerful and elusive and euphoric that we will chase it into the depths of insanity or even death. And that's what was happening to me. What I had to do was I had to find something other than dope that gave me that feeling, that made me feel happy and have purpose, you know? And I feel like I have found that in my little social media family that I have. Like, this is how I fulfill my need to, you know what I'm saying? This is what helps me to not want to go out and shoot dope in my veins. But that's exactly what happened, you guys. All of a sudden I went, ah! I made out, because I was like grasping for air, like, ah! But it's like this scream and this gasp at the same time, and I fell out. Oh. Hey, Michelle, that's awesome. Congratulations, babe. So, yeah, the energy is also something that I really, really miss. No, girl, you ain't got to feel stupid. That's the way I feel, too. I totally understand. And I know a lot of us ladies can understand. I have noticed that, you know, between us men and women, that most of us women say that it was the energy produced that makes us want to go back. And you know why that is, y'all? Because our hormones. Because doctors don't know how to make sure that our bodies are ran right. And that's what it is. I bet you $500 every single person in here has hormone problems, and we need to see an endocrinologist. I know this because this is what I've been trying to do for the last 6 years with my doctor, and he keeps telling me, oh, your thyroid is fine. I know that there's something going on. I know it. And it's because doctors don't understand women's hormones, you know? So, anyway, we ain't ever going to get that energy ever again, so y'all better go hang it up and let it go. I love you guys. I'm going to go lay down with the boys, and I will see y'all tomorrow at 3:45 p.m. Central Standard Time. Now, I'll probably go live during the day over on my TikTok if y'all want to come hang out, because I'm going to do my makeup over there. So my TikTok account is Discovering Nicole 7754. Okay, I love you guys too. Be good, okay? And if you need anything, just send me a DM, all right? Message me. I love every single one of you guys. Mwah. Good night, y'all.